This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts. Welcome to Body Count, a history podcast.
Hey, Scooby Gang, we are going to pick up exactly where we left off last week. We hope you enjoy. Morale
Anyway.
assures Hitler, hey man,
Mm-hmm.
I got all the answers to your fart room problems. Like, I have miracle cures. I'm the man with a plan, and I can solve your flatulence problem.
Can we just take one last second to consider that all of these homes had a shit cloud solar? All right, that is the last fart room joke name that I would make. Nothing will top
I have
that.
a feeling it's not going to be shit solar. I can't even. No wonder we have an energy efficient way to live now.
Fart foyer, a shit solar. It is what it is.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
Oh.
Curse.
Curse.
So many our viewers are going, you MFers aren't even trying. So the treatments begin with Morell giving Hitler little black tablets called Dr. Kusser's anti-gas pills, of which Hitler is popping about 16 a day. But here's the twist, guys.
Of course, he's got a problem with flatulence. Of course, he's going to pop as many as he can.
Here's the twist. The pills contain strychnine. I
don't know what that is.
Do we know what that is? I know, James, you probably do. Bethany,
No.
I'm asking this.
No,
Okay.
I mean, I've always
Jesus.
referred to it in the hillbilly way as strychnine, but whatever.
Strychnine.
Like the singer? No, wait, that's not the singer.
Oh, God. Damn it.
Sorry, I warned you, James. I'm the blonde girl in the back of the lecture room going, "Excuse me, Professor, I don't get it."
So strychnine is a pesticide. Usually, it's
Oh,
usually used as
like
a
you use on for killing bugs and insects on
No, it's not
No.
just a bug
No?
poison, baby girl. It's a poison strong enough to bring down small vertebrates. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, James, I
mice,
didn't appreciate that
rats,
laugh you
birds.
just made. Okay, I know what pesticide is. Okay, I didn't appreciate that side laugh, James. I really didn't. I'm from Kansas. Okay, I know what it means in that
damn
sense.
sodbuster. But you were thinking like just a regular bug poison. No, this can bring down small animals.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
like
yeah.
rodents, birds, that sort of thing.
Damn, that's like several steps above what we're using now, obviously.
No, that's exactly what we're using now.
Hey, look, I got it. Okay, cool. Continue.
Okay, cool. So they were effective, believe it or not, for the gas problem, as if they were gas X, which God knows they should have invented earlier. But they were likely responsible for Hitler's serious attention lapse episodes and his creepy sallow skin later on, much down the line, before he eats a bullet in the bunker.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
if it's killing him, obviously, if it's killing small animals, it's going to slowly kill him.
Yeah,
Yes?
even in small
Okay.
doses. You shouldn't take strychnine, whatever you want to
Technine.
do.
Oh, sorry.
Whether you have the British pronunciation or the American one, it's not great to eat.
Did you think she said Tech9?
Yeah, Technine's for my sorry.
I legitimately thought that there was a rapper out there called Strychnine, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, I guess. I didn't realize you thought I said Tech9.
I hate you both. Like, I really hate you both right now.
Take a shot, bitch. Take
So
a
far,
shot.
I've
fine.
been hated by both of you. I feel like I've done my job.
Now I'm going to go take a shot of fucking peach whiskey because that's all I've got. Thank you.
Shot at this point.
God
You're
bless America.
misunderstanding the point.
I hate you. This is the second episode I've recorded that now I have to go take a shot because I'm a dumbass. Okay, cool. I hate you all.
So, what did Morel recommend next? Hydrolyside E. coli bacteria and a medicine called Mutflor. Mutaflor, that's it. Mutflor.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If we're going to pronounce it in a German way, bitch, pronounce it correctly. So it was to further stabilize, like
Stabilize.
Stabilize Hitler's wrong-footed bowels. Now, we had strychnine and E. coli added to the mix. And
In this particular thing he was taking, or just in general?
Mutaflor was E. coli bacteria.
Now wait, doesn't E. coli give you the shits? I feel like this is counterproductive.
Yeah,
it would
be. Is this in his pill?
But remember, the one thing stops him farting and backs him up and gives him constipation. The other thing makes him shit it out. No, we're going to get to the other drugs. Makes him shit it out, which is something that contains small bits. Remember, Morel noted that constipation and flatulence were his problem.
Right.
With his weirdo diet. So
wait, hold on.
Mutaflor.
I have a question. So everything you just talked about, is that in the pill that he's taking, or is that just something that's like coming about?
That's something he had naturally. And then the Dr. Kuster's gas pills alleviated the flatulence problem. And then
I know.
This Mutaflor is going to alleviate the constipation.
No. My question is, my true question is like, yes, I know he had a problem and that pill alleviated, but you were talking about all the other stuff. Is that in a pill that he's taking already, or is that something that's coming?
It's coming. It's coming up.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I'm gonna take my shot real quick. Okay.
I just wanted to pronounce Mutaflor with the correct German pronunciation.
Before we butcher it completely.
Exactly.
Ugh. Okay, keep going.
Or before Bethany does that right there. So at this point, Hitler is downing strychnine and E. coli bacteria. And at this point, you wonder, was this guy, and later on, other Nazi officials would suspect this, actually trying to kill Hitler? The answer is no. He was just equally...
He was trying to help.
Yeah, he was equally as crazy as Hitler. And he loved him that much. Because make no mistake, Morel loved Hitler. Devoted to the little prick.
I mean, honestly, he wouldn't recommend something that was going to kill him. He legitimately was like, hey, take this. It's going to help.
Exactly.
So I get it. Yeah.
He really meant it because of his hero worship of Hitler. And it did destabilize Hitler's digestive problems. But Hitler was so impressed with Dr. Morel's work, he said, hey, want to be in the Nazi elite, like the deep inner circle?
Want to have a circle jerk with us?
Do you want to show up for a weird chaos magic, like Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn circle jerks up at Himmler's that we have? Oh, you do? You want to be in the SS circle jerks? Oh, you're super cool with that? Okay, so beyond this point, Morel wasn't far from the Fuhrer, ever.
See, I feel like this is part of the reason why we have pharmacists now. Because I feel like a pharmacist back then would just be like, I'm sorry, you're giving this dude strychnine and E. coli? You're literally giving him constipation and then giving him something to stop the constipation. Like, dude, you could do this with one drug.
Exactly.
Hey, pharmacist knows what's up. Okay, they
Oh.
know how to make the money and know how to get in the inner circle of certain
But
jerks.
the doctor.
That's what being a doctor is all about. It's just getting.
Hey, exactly. Thank you.
Oh, but the doctor is about to get so much more inventive, guys, with the things that he has for Hitler. So, Hitler's stomach problems were now wholly conquered by the treatment of these two things, right?
Sure it
So
was.
he told,
Yeah.
sure they were, wink, wink. So he told Morrell, when I get up in the morning, I feel groggy. And it's at this point that I wonder that the Berghoff couldn't fucking summon up some coffee, right? Like,
Why would they
it
do
is
that
the Berghoff.
when they have Pervitin?
Just pop another pill. You'll be fine. Wait, that's what my doctor says. I
both
laugh.
of ours say
It's
it for a
funny
very
'cause
good
it's true.
reason, Bethany. Coffee
I know.
didn't cure what we got.
Nope.
Woo. So, well, though, if you're moral, like Morrell, you do what Hitler tells us all to do, and it is what it is. So, Morrell had come up with a cure for the Fuhrer's quote unquote illness. Morrell started injecting Hitler with a watery fluid he mixed up from some sort of powdery substance that he toted around with him in little gold packets. So maybe Morrell had started dipping into his own supply, which we can only assume. But man, Hitler was happy when he started treating him.
Substance we're talking about. Okay.
No, not the powdery substance you think. When he started treating him with it, and boom, next thing you know, the Fuhrer would perk right up. The stuff just miraculously worked wonders. So the Fuhrer would start bouncing off the fucking walls, y'all, like crazy. So
it's like a multivitamin gone wrong.
Ernst Gunther
Schnick. However you want to look at it.
No, exactly.
Wait, say that name again.
Ernst Gunther Schnick.
Okay.
Why do you always do this when I pronounce German names correctly?
Gunther Schnick. I'm sorry.
It is not. It's Ernst Gunther Schnick.
Okay.
He was the main SS doctor. Like the SS doctor of SS doctors, right? Which you would have thought.
I don't know what you mean by SS. Like above SS? All? Yeah, don't treat me like I'm a dumbass, okay? I don't read your lingo. You said SS doctor of SS doctor.
For a little bit.
James, do you get it? What the fuck is an SS doctor?
The SS, Bethany.
Hey, I'm talking to James. Hey, I'm talking to James.
All right, fine. Let him explain it to you.
German SS. I don't remember what exactly. You're talking about the Waffen SS, the Schutzstaffel, right?
Yes, the Schutzstaffel.
What's the Schutzstaffel?
Basically, secret police, death squads, all that sort of thing.
Okay. Like kind of our CIA to their SS.
No, more like super.
No.
Okay, I'm talking to James, Jessica. I'm talking to James.
All right, fine.
Jesus.
Fine. Let him explain it to you.
No, I want to know. Somebody doesn't make me feel like a dumbass. Okay.
So the Schutzstaffel or the SS was a paramilitary organization in the Nazi Party. So like you have your German infantry, your German soldiers, and that sort of thing, which may or may not believe the Nazi propaganda. And then you have the SS, who's like, I bleed Nazi. Like, I have Nazi tattoos, like, on my taint. I'm so
no matter what they say, I'm there for it.
Exactly.
Okay. So the SS...
They
so
help
when
make
when
the
she's talking
Kool-Aid
about the SS doctor... Oh, which is both cool and very, very risky. Okay. All right.
Bitch,
All right. I'm not
we
following
were talking 3 weeks ago, me and your husband in front of you about the Schustaffel, like, death
You think I
squad.
was listening? I wasn't listening. You're talking to my fucking husband. I wasn't listening to that. Hello, my husband has a different level of intelligence. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna let them talk. I'm gonna walk away and drink my beer.
Are you telling me
know.
you don't know what the SS is?
Babe, seriously, are you gonna really put me in that situation?
No,
You're right.
I'm not.
That's why
I'm
I
not.
asked.
I'm not
That's
going
why I
to. So, Ernest Gunther Schneck, which was
Okay.
the head SS doctor,
Okay.
was immediately suspicious of these instant pickups. So he manages to lift one of the packets off Morel when he was looking the other way and does a little lab test on the miracle powder. And what does he find?
Amphetamines. Yes? Please tell me it's yes. Please tell me it's
You
amphetamines.
are right.
Woo!
Amphetamines in full doses. So,
Yes.
like, small wonder that the Fuhrer's standing over in the corner playing fucking Skip It and screaming about Belgium. Like,
It's funny because I'm pretty sure I read an article about that happened in Florida.
if you're getting pure amphetamine injections every morning, Skip It is, of course, what you're doing. Like,
Okay, so
there's some.
can we just slow down for a second and take into consideration that in the 30s, literally methamphetamine was sold on street corners as an actual like pick me up.
Right, like a
That was the
snake oil
that was the
salesman.
pervit that I made the comment.
Instead of a B12 shot, come get your.
No, you got your pure amphetamine, but it wasn't given in doses like what Morel was dosing the Fuhrer, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, obviously,
This was
in the bloodstream.
no.
So.
I mean, but like what James is saying is correct. Like you could just buy it off the street corner as a miracle fucking cure to downtroddeness.
Yeah.
I mean, which
like so,
isn't that what B12 is? Like, I'm sorry, I'm going back to B12. Kind of like it.
oh
Really,
well,
I mean,
how in what world does B12 compete with amphetamines?
well,
It doesn't.
they just watered it down.
Well, as a person with severe ADHD, I promise you, B12 doesn't cure my problem.
Can James talk now, Jessica? Because he keeps trying to talk. He keeps cutting him off.
you're fine. You're fine. So I actually did watch this documentary the other day about the Blitzkrieg, which kind of getting off the like Hitler topic for just a second. Like that was one of the reason that put the Blitz in Blitzkrieg was literally all of the German soldiers were on Pervitin, which is crystal meth. I mean, let's just be honest, it's just fucking meth.
It's just pure fucking crystal meth. Like,
which is exactly how they were able to just get their front line moved in what everyone assumed would be like a 2-week period in 6 days, is because they were just so fucking hopped up on methyl.
The gay club and wasted of my life.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right.
Okay.
And where do you think this shit trickled down from?
It didn't just happen overnight. It came from history, damn it.
No, what I'm saying is the Fuhrer starts to experience these drugs in the very early 30s under Morel. So, of course, they were implemented in pilots in the Blitzkrieg. But we're going to get to a little.
Needs to get on this bandwagon with me.
Right, exactly. But it's going to be a real bitch when they wear out after you fly across the vast territory that is Russia. Woo!
Yeah,
Russia
God
always
bless
gets 'em.
Russia.
God bless Russia.
That's what I always say it. After the Romanov series, I've always just said, God bless Russia.
Which is going to be a real interesting tie-in later on when we're talking about Hitty Hitler. But you're exactly right, James. Like, and that's kind of where the shit trickled down from, because Morrell is in the inner circle. So he's pushing these miracle cures on all these army men. And even though Shank, the SS doctor, is like, yeah, I know they're amphetamines. You probably shouldn't give them to our Fuhrer, but I'm definitely going to give them to the German Air Force. That is, whoo! What a positive.
Pew, 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 pew. Let's blow everything up. Pew, pew, pew. Yeah, no, it makes sense. How else going to win?
James is exactly right, because that is exactly where it trickles down from. And it's a very good point. But at the same time, Shank, the SS doctor, tries to tell the Fuhrer that, hey, man, this is full of, like, what we want to give our pilots to go, like, bomb the shit out of Britain, right?
You probably don't need it while you're just hanging out in your office.
Exactly. While you're just
typing at the computer screen. Sending an email.
While you're just writing fucking letters, bro, you probably don't need this because you're not going to, like, long-term flight war. But he's like, piss off, man, because Hitler didn't care what Morrell gave him.
Because he felt good.
So long as it kept him, quote unquote, working. You're exactly right.
He felt good. He wasn't pooping and farting and ran to people's homes. He was like getting shit done, quote unquote.
And he's on amphetamine. So that certainly brings us a sense of wellness, if one will.
Right.
As you can well imagine, it didn't take Hitler very long to become pretty dependent on Dr. Morrell and his miracle, quote unquote, cures.
Wow.
What?
Like really heavy air
People become dependent on that? What?
So I've heard through the grapevine. Wink, wink. So the Fuhrer placed all of his health problems entirely in the care of Morrell, with some pretty disastrous long-term consequences, to say the least. So the first thing in the morning after Hitler polished off his fucking morning mush of whatever, curse.
I can just imagine what his disastrous mush is.
I'm sure it was like oatmeal and Brussels sprouts or linseed bullshit. Who knows?
Oh, God.
So once he polished off his mush, whatever, here comes Dr. Morrell to inject him with, quite frankly, whatever he felt that day. But Hitler's favorite goody-goody gumdrop that Morrell gave him, guys, what do you think it was?
Cocaine! Cocaine's one hell of a drug, babe. Not that I know from any experience.
Oh, Rick James is not wrong. It is a hell of a drug. So now, in the 1930s, cocaine was, as we all know, used to treat some medical ailments, much as amphetamines were, in a similar way to what James described. So it was given in extremely low doses. However, like low, but by proper doctors.
When you say proper doctors, you mean like doctors that are above Dr. Morrell? Or
just a proper doctor? Morrell was no doctor. He was like an injection quack and a psycho.
Like real doctors, not fake doctors.
I mean, like, that would see the German peoples every day. Or, quite frankly, he may have been an SS piece of shit, but, like, Schenk was a real deal doctor that it was like, what the fuck are you giving him?
He probably had, like, a degree and, experience.
Both of those things.
Okay, maybe it's my own interpretation. When you called him Dr. Morell, I just automatically assumed that he was an actual doctor, but that's my bad.
But he's an older guy by 1930. So let's assume that he was getting his doctor title back in a Victorian era, right? And much less than that. There was less of a concerted effort. There was less scientific what am I
people
thinking?
just trust. So just because he called himself doctor, people were like, "Oh, I trust you."
Well, somebody
sort of
could have been a doctor in 1899. That is not the definition of a doctor in 1930. That's where we hit this technological information, sort of almost revolutionary boom coming into the 20th century, if you will.
Okay, I really did not know that. You're right. Okay, sorry. I won't go into my sure stupidity right just then.
Yeah, because he studied medicine in 1910. And then got his degree in 13, right?
Yes.
Okay.
3 years? In 3 years, you can't get your doctorate. There's no way.
But it's not a doctorate. It's a medical license, which, quite frankly, nowadays takes, a good fucking 7 to 15 years, depending on what you're doing.
Okay, again, I'm in the wrong era, so there I go.
What I'm saying is Morell is earning his shit probably in the Victorian age as opposed to the 19th century, whereas Schnick is going to be a fairly recently graduated doctor of the 20th century because only the best for the SS.
Like, it's weird. So, by the way, are you going to go into Morell's background much at all?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I want to know. Yeah, please go ahead.
She wants to know, so go into Morell's background.
Well, I do because I'm seriously confused.
He was trained in obstetrics. There we go. That's
I don't know what that word is, but okay.
Pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum.
Obstetrics.
Oh, damn.
That one. And gynecology was his field of study.
Oh, okay.
For most of his quote unquote training. And then in where he studied in Paris and Grenoble in the southeast of France. And then he was a ship's doctor until 1914, where he volunteered for service during the First World War.
Which is just basically making sure people eat fruit to not get scurvy.
I mean, essentially.
Essentially, that's what
it was a thing. I really didn't know that was a thing. Okay.
That's 100% a thing.
Yeah, it was just basically give people fruit, and if they need something cut off, just try to keep them alive.
Hack it off and cauterize that bitch and hope they live.
Yep. Damn. And then he started doing the quote unquote latest medical technology, which is to say the latest quack trends. Mm-hmm. And he became fashionable for treatment of skin and venereal diseases.
Interesting.
And then suddenly became Hitler's personal physician.
Probably only because of what Jessica just said. He introduced him into something that cured, quote unquote, his issue.
I just figured it was because he was used to treating pussies.
Oh, James! Yes! Yeah, I'm gonna clap with you, Jessica. That was amazing.
Long-term joke telling right there.
That was awesome. Thank you for bringing it all the way back into now I understand. Okay, cool. Thank you.
I wasn't going to do that, James, because as you see, we've already hit a snag with the SS with Bethany. So there are certain things that I don't have time to railroad, but I'm actually glad you railroaded that.
Thank you, because I want to learn, damn it.
Hashtag finger guns.
Finger, pew, 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 pew.
Oh my God, I love how much I thought this was going to be a mini episode. That's fucking adorable.
Well, you should know better.
cursed so many curses on my part. I apologize, listeners.
Okay,
I don't really.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to always derail us. It's my fault that these mini episodes turn into God knows what. But I'm sorry, because I'm not in the whole, you know what, F it, nerd aspect that y'all are. Okay, I'm not. I'm really not. I
So
don't.
reading a book is a nerd aspect.
It's, excuse me, I read books. Okay, I do. I read books.
Reading a book that is a nonfiction book makes you a nerd. Oh my god. What
but
ass clowns
how am I
we
supposed-
are.
How am I supposed to read a book that I don't understand? I can't read a book and be like, hey, excuse me, author, I have a question. Like, I can't do that. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm here for. But it doesn't matter. We're not going to break it down. The rest of you, read books. Read a book, Lana. So
See, James, what I have to put up with.
he gets that Archer reference. So
Whatever.
it's an allegorical novel. And spoiler alert, Lana, it sucks.
And I'm telling you that I didn't sign up for Animal Farm in space.
Wait, they're animals?
No, Animal Farm?
How do you not get that? Cyril, I know what an animal farm is. Not an animal farm. Then maybe we can, I don't know, stampede a flock of goats down the hall.
Animal Farm is a book.
No, it isn't, Lana. It's an allegorical novella about Stalinism by George Orwell. And spoiler alert, it sucks!
So the fear
Anyway.
all his health problems entirely in the care of Morel with some disastrous long-term consequences, like we said earlier.
Okay.
First thing in the morning, Hitler polished off his munch, took his injection or whatever, as we all know. But now we're going to get, like I said, to his favorite goody gumdrop, cocaine. Well, in the 1930s, cocaine was used to treat some minor medical ailments. Now, it was given in extremely low doses by our proper doctors, taking less than a 1% solution to the medication here. So, Morel mixes up some eye drops for Hitler.
Yikes.
With a more interesting approach. Of course, Morel knew Hitler was expecting to feel immediately better, if you will, following a dose of his medication. So maybe Morel put 10 times the amount into Hitler's drops.
I mean, 10 times the amount, 10 times the cure, right?
Hey. Hey.
You get it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
He most certainly would have felt a whole lot of things immediately after that dose. The dose was so concentrated, we can't help but wonder that many a psychotic episode was triggered post receiving the eye drops, especially in later years.
But why?
But why?
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 Basically turning Colombian scales into eye drops. Like, why would you feel weird about that? Having them just dropped in your eyes.
Just odd. It's,
Would you be weird? Would you be
like, what the
weird
hell's
after
wrong with
that?
people? Why can't they just get it together?
The worst.
Just eye drops.
The worst. He found cocaine. He, meaning Hitler, found cocaine extremely effectual. I mean, downright.
Not that I would know, but sure.
Downright efficacious, if you will. I bet he did, like Bethany said. Not that we would know, but I bet he was super into it. Among all the primary sources about Hitler's habits, there's a super fun little collection, about 47 pages, written in Morel and other doctors' hand that danced attendance on Hitler. All the doctors, specifically not Morel, but all the other doctors, noted that Hitler began to really, quote unquote, crave the drug.
Really?
Again?
I would have never guessed.
But why?
Again, I bet.
though?
Why?
Why?
I don't understand. Why would he want the drug cocaine?
Why you want it so much, Mr. Fuhrer? Yeah, I fucking bet he did. The Fuhrer was, in actuality, as we all know what's happening here, developing a really serious habit. Full-blown addict. On top of the eye drops, he started to literally Henry the Hoover the pretty day and night, claiming the powder also, quote unquote, cleared his sinuses and soothed his throat.
It's going from nummies to actually snorting it.
Exactly. Like, he is just Henry the Hoover.
I'm just gonna
Hoover.
I'm just gonna numb it first, and now you know what? There's a line
you know
of
what? Now I'm gonna dip my toe in the snorty snort waters. Exactly. What do you know? Call the late 70s and early 80s and just like tell them they all had a sore throat, right?
Oh shit.
Fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry, curse.
Oh man.
Oh, I hate our show. I'm sorry, I hate our show.
I'm gonna tell my mom not to listen to this episode.
As I'm doing it, I hate our show. So going to the ATM made Hitler feel like he was.
I feel like I'm back in college. Let's go to the ATM.
Let's go to the ATM.
Who cares if we're gonna open up a credit limit? Let's go to the ATM.
I couldn't help myself, bitch. So let's drive on to the ATM. Which made Hitler feel like a big Fuhrer man. But I'm gonna say it did nada, as can be expected, for his lack of sex drive, guys. And, oh my God! What
it either helps it or ruins it.
What he wasn't pumping into Ava Braun wasn't just a national tale. Like everybody gave a shit, right? But apparently they did. Extremely embarrassing a condition for the Fuhrer. Go on.
I'm sorry. I do have a really, you know what? I'm gonna admit it. It's a stupid question. Did the Fuhrer ever actually produce an error?
No.
Okay. All right. Good to know. As I've learned in the Romanovs, it
is an important question.
Rule once.
Bless the saints, he did not.
Okay. All right, cool. I mean, you know what?
He had
James. All right. Okay, James. Let me hear on the unless.
Are you counting Unity Mitford's bastard child?
I am touting nothing.
I want to hear. I want to hear James.
There is a theory that because the body was never actually properly identified, that Hitler did escape. So maybe he might have lived out a very good life in South America.
I thought it was Canada. No, it wasn't Canada. It was like
bitch. Argentina.
It was like some weird in the woods.
Argentina.
Okay, you don't gotta yell at me.
I do. In this case. Have to yell at you. So while I get another beer, namely to distract our listeners while I reach into my fridge.
Okay, because I've heard the rumors that according to weird rumors that Hitler actually was full on like actual gay. Like not gay. Nope. He didn't come out as gay, but he didn't actually get with women. Am I wrong?
We'll tell that to Ava Braun.
Who?
Hey,
Eva
there are such
Braun.
there are such things as beards.
I'm not
Okay.
doubting that, but he was still banging his documented just to prove he was straight. I'm not saying he went
Okay.
gay.
I no. I'm not saying that he was. It just that's the rumor that circulated because of the fact that he did not produce an heir, and I get it because I heard about after listening to all and learning about the Romanovs, I get it. Just because you don't produce an heir doesn't make you gay, but there was so many things around Hitler in general. I guess I had a epiphany. Like, wait a minute.
Like,
Why are what? Yeah, Thank you. Yeah. Well, what if?
The point is, I will tell you this, from an historian's point of view, I cannot prove Hitler's sexuality one way or the other from primary sources,
Okay.
so I refuse to comment on it.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
don't know what he was.
Okay. I just know that from all
can't
my
say-
research on it, like my teaching, I'm doing air quotes right now because again, my history lessons are very vague. It just seemed weird to me to go through all of this.
I will tell you from psychology and from a psychological standpoint, one has to vet out some things because that very much wasn't allowed under the right.
Oh, gays. Okay, sorry.
A great many poor gay people make up that 15 plus million.
Well,
and I'm going to say it's closer to 17 million that died.
Yeah, and it could have been too. I mean, if there's one thing that I've learned in the vast history that I have with bigotry, being around it, not being part of it, so I need to preface that.
Okay, make your point known. Yes.
Yeah, right. There is nothing more dangerous than a person who is not super comfortable in their own sexuality or own feelings of their sexuality. So perhaps part of the reason why homeboy Hitler was so anti-gay was because he was having a little bit of confusion in his own mind. And given how quote unquote bad it was looked down on at that time.
Because was it like a time era thing? Because obviously this is, again, I always contribute why I don't understand things that happen is because I wasn't in that era. It's one of those things where it's like he wasn't gay. I don't even want to use that term gay because of course it doesn't fully, I don't feel like it fully sums up what I'm trying to say. Like, because of the drug usage and everything that he was being injected with, God, I don't even know how to.
No, I would say
I don't even know how to. Yeah, it confused me.
Sorry, I was eating another deviled egg. I really like James's point. I'm sorry, that looks so good, y'all. I would really advocate James's point and that he's correct. And I against the things that hit hardest. And I don't know that it was necessarily Hitler's thing, though. It could have been Himmler's. I mean, because God knows that the SS and Himmler were very instrumental in putting together death camps. Oh my God, I hate you so much right now. I mean, they were instrumental in death camp. It might have been Goebbels' thing because he was very instrumental in propaganda. It could have been all of them. There is no way for me to concretely and historically tell you, yes, he was in the closet, and so that's why he hated these things, because he was afraid of who he was. Does that make sense?
Yes, because that's what I have been told. I'm not told, but like that's what I've come to kind of understand is like he did all of this craziness because he was so closeted. I mean, no, I know he had drug use. Of course, I knew he did. Again, like we talked about it before we started, it was just one of the things.
People can surmise all they want, but I can assure you that everything I'm telling you right now is from primary sources. And that's all I can tell you, Bethany. I can't say something concretely historically if I don't have proof of it. But I do have proof of this drug use and all the things that I'm telling you here in a silly, funny way, but they're all verifiable. So what you're addressing is something that has long been speculation in history about a number of Nazi elite. And quite frankly, we don't know. And we'll never know. But I love you, but you know that I shut you down on things that are conjecture on the show.
Well, that's why I brought it up. Well, that's why I brought it up, Jessica, is because I'm like, hey, look,
understand.
This is what I've come to understand. Yeah, I get it. I do. I get it. It's just one of those things where it's like, this is how it's kind of come about and how it didn't start that way, but now it's finished. I'm putting of course, you can't see my air quotes, but it's like, it's come down to this point where it's like, well, he did this because he's a quote unquote. I'm like, but really? Really?
You're exactly right. There are a billion things, though, in history we're never going to be able to solve in that way, just because we have no concrete evidence.
Proof.
And this occurred. I can't find multiple sources wrote down that this happened. What I am telling you, I can find multiple sources have recorded. Correct. So I have to believe them as primary sources. So going to the ATM made the Fuhrer feel like a big man, as we discussed earlier in all of our breakdown, but it did nothing for his sex drive. Now, while extremely embarrassing for the Fuhrer, never fear, Dr. Morell is here. And guys, this is going to get effing crazy. To give Hitler a virility injections containing extracts to give him virility, he gave him extracts of, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, from the prostate glands of a young bull.
Ew.
So he literally injected him with bullshit.
Yes.
Pretty fucking bad.
I don't even care. That was awesome. That was a knee slapper. Love it.
I don't know how else to put it, but you're exactly right. Like, how healthy, let's consider this a moment. How healthy can that be to put, like, straight up bull parts in your body? Bull injection. Like, what does that do to you?
Well, I know that was once a point in our history, and this is all coming from things I remember. I'm not actually looking anything up.
Go with it.
But actually, so injecting people with like bull testosterone and that sort of thing was used to be used. Good Lord, as like an aphrodisiac and is basically a dick hardener. And it was supposed to also increase your testosterone production to try and keep up with what was being injected into your body.
So what James is saying to you is that might have been a viable treatment. It might very well have been a viable treatment. But the point is, a lot of previously in the Victorian era, a lot of kings might have died or dukes, and you can even extend that further back. That had been a very long-term treatment in Europe, especially central kind of Europe. And a lot of people died from it. A lot of people didn't. But that's the problem, is that you can blame death and insanity on anything from, like, I ate a bad bread roll to I cut myself right. or some kind of infection.
I didn't cook
So,
the meat
who
all the way
knows?
through. Like, no, I get it.
It might have been very effective. And I'm going to say, since he effed the S out of Ava Braun, it was effective.
Okay.
So Morel is definitively like dipping in his own supply, though. From this point, I would say, like, if he's into giving his virility injection, like, he's definitely gone beyond the pale. He's taken the same things the Fear is, right?
Well, he's got to be on the same level, so yeah, that makes sense.
Why not?
Let's party like the Fuhrer. Hey.
Well, he was in the inner circle. Why not? So he gave Hitler something called, I think it's Testosteron or Testosteron. I'm pretty sure it's Testosteron, which is some sort of concoction derived of pure testosterone. So from a human body. So I have to question, at this point in history, where are they deriving the pure testosterone injections?
Okay.
Because they didn't have the obvious solution yet. To final one, if you will. So, of course, before Hitler ran to go like Netflix and chill with Ava Braun, he would make sure to like swing by for a dose of both, which yuck, double
gross.
yuck.
Hey, let me get my dick hard before going to Netflix and chill. I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have said that. My bad. Sorry.
Of course, all this shit led to, as we know, increasingly erratic behavior. For example, I'm having some beer burps, guys. As if our listeners aren't used to this and don't expect me to be drunk by the end of the evening. So I feel like it's like that Mitchell, that's a bad miss. So, for example, Hitler planned the invasion of Soviet Russia.
The fact that we both know what you just said and are laughing at it. James, I like you. Continue. Something about Soviet Russia.
I'm sorry. I don't mean that as a bad thing. We are one curse. For example, Hitler planned the invasion of Soviet Russia while being pumped with, brace yourselves, up to 80 different drugs. I didn't name them all, including testosterone, which one you will most certainly need to give to a patient to have the balls to invade Russia, as we know from our early Romanov series. So let's see, opiates, which you will need to be out of your head on enough to immediately not seize Moscow, which Hitler didn't do, and sedatives, which I suppose make you calm enough to think you have enough time to get out before the weather starts to turn, and of course laxatives, which
you've got to get all the shit you've been fed out.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, even in pretense to Soviet Russia, if you're not already shitting your pants at the fact that winter has set in, you definitely need to be. So maybe that was just it.
Oh my God.
Because if there's anything we've proved in this podcast over and over with our Romanov series, it's you better get the fuck out of Russia before winter be coming.
Because if Russia's good at one thing, it's defending itself.
Amen.
And just it's so goddamn vast. Like, I feel so bad for him. On a side note, it's so vast that, like, yes, the Luftwaffe's essential hit was great, but like, how are they gonna make it all the way to Moscow? How are they gonna make it all the way? It's like, great, you hit us at our front. Ooh, shock and awe. Now fuck off and come all the way over to Lake Baikal. We'd
See
love
how you
to
do
see
there.
it.
Hold
We'd
on, let me
love
film
to
that.
see you do
Look
it
at my security cameras on.
with the land army. That's adorable. Like, you have to be on enough drugs when you can seize Moscow to go, oh, I'd rather have industrial centers in Kiev. Have you lost your fucking mind? Where do you think Kiev takes its direction from? I think that both Bethany and I have proved this back in, like, what was it, 1653?
I wasn't going to get the exact date, but I was like 16 something. I was getting there.
Alexei Romanov, since
Yes.
Alexei the First, Mikhailovich, we've had a little bit of a problem. And that is something that Hitler completely missed, man. And you could
open
say
a goddamn book or a partial or piece of rolling paper.
I would argue, Bethany, that he was having too much fun on the 80 different drugs to do so.
Good for him. I mean,
he probably didn't think about it because he was so blitzed on everything that he was on that he couldn't think about it. I mean,
I would
when
agree.
you're literally in the middle of a war and you decide, you know what's smart? Opening up a second front.
A third one, technically, because he had Africa.
Yay, give me some more cocaine.
Diggity in it. Let's have a third front. Right?
We can take on the world. Fuck this place.
Not just any third front. The third front that had conquered the world outside Genghis fucking Khan.
Yeah. Again, read a history book.
In time, in memory, it brought down everybody from goddamn Napoleon to Alexander, sir, except for Genghis. You think you're Genghis Khan? That's cute. That's adorable.
I was just gonna. That's adorable.
You fucking smackhead. That is cute AF. Like, you think you're Genghis Khan. All right.
I mean,
whatever.
Okay, can we just take a second and recognize that all of the meth heads that we've seen in the modern era, the things that they can get done. Okay. So, I mean, literally, methamphetamines give you the mentality that you can do anything.
Anything.
Which,
except for that one thing.
Salvos of I mean, he was kind of riding high on the hog there. So, I mean, maybe that's what it was.
No, I get it.
No, I get it. I get it. Like, oh, I can do anything. But I promise you, Sonny boy, in history, not that one thing.
Hello, I said I was gonna run a goddamn marathon. That's never fucking happened.
No, it could totally happen for Hitler. Everything could have happened for Hitler, but I promise you, there's only one exception to the Russian winter, and that is the Mongols. And I don't think you have the balls to be Genghis Khan, sir. I just simply do not think you are physically tough enough, nor do I think your people are. As we can agree from our Genghis Khan series.
He was trying to get the balls. That's what the testosterone stuff.
It shriveled up from all the drugs, so he needed some.
I would disagree. I thought it was from the weird bull semen injections that he was in fact trying to get them.
Bulletron. Da-da-da-da.
Not the
Da-da-da-da.
legitimate drug, but in fact the weird prostate like bull injections. I thought
Remember, it was
the
the
non-legitimate the bullshit, James.
That was it. I couldn't hear because you were talking.
Go fuck yourself.
wait, curse. That's what we're supposed to say, right?
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Yeah.
Sorry. Curse.
Again. But if James is an Always Sunny fan, he will understand why I sang that to you. We'll see. You don't watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I watch that and I don't watch anything.
Yeah. Are missing fucking comedy gold. Sorry, swear. Comedy gold. I'm bored. I'm bored
I'm
now.
God
Just
damn it,
kidding.
Jessica. Don't be See you next Tuesday.
Oh, Bethany, I am the C word.
I know.
I'm the original C word. So when Hitler, on a side note, guys, met with Mussolini to dissuade him from changing sides, he became absolutely, for lack of a better word, hysterical. He
he's
went
on meth.
out of his mind. You're exactly right. On amphetamine, on freaking meth. Which, by the way, Mussolini, I have no sympathy for, and he certainly had his own, issues. But he was already thinking about changing over to the Allied side. At what point do you witness that behavior from Hitler and go, you know what? I'm sticking with it. You know what? I'm a believer. Like, at what point do you go? At what point do you watch a tiny, sallow-skinned poison man bounce around your fucking antechamber, curse, and go, oh, you'll have to stay with our side? Like, at what point do you go, that's what convinces me, not Churchill's BBC speeches. That's what convinces me to go ahead and stay with the Fuhrer. I don't understand it.
Rah, cocaine. Give me more.
I mean, maybe he was a Tammy Wynette fan before she ever
Oh, yes, James.
For those of you who might not know who Tammy Wynette is, she sang a very popular song called "Stand by Your Man" in 1968.
In this case,
Young man, even though he beats you.
In this case, I would say we would have to change the verbiage for Mussolini to stand by her man and
yes.
It's not insulting. It's not insulting. It's just like I always refer to Karl Rove as her because she seems histrionic. In a Cleopatra sort of way. I don't mean it as an insult in that calling Karl Rove a woman is somehow insulting. She just seems histrionic like Cleopatra. All I'm saying. God, we have unintentionally got political in this podcast, which we
I didn't realize that was political.
So,
not familiar with that.
Slinging mud against Karl Rove is pretty political.
I don't know how that is, so it doesn't count. I really don't know who that is, so I don't feel like it counts. I'm really sorry, Jessica.
If I don't
I've never loved.
Wait, what? What, James? You don't know who?
What?
I said, if I don't know it's political, it isn't. That's Bethany rule.
Yes. Amen.
That's exactly right.
Here.
And God bless. And this is not the only reason I love you beyond anything, Bethany, but it's a big reason.
Because I'm oblivious. I'm a dumb blonde. I get it. I just was I was more cultured in different areas, okay?
I am just kidding.
Damn it.
Jesus.
I was just sorry.
If I wanted to know about the modulation of ballet under Catherine Timothy J, I would ask you. You'd probably know a
I can
fair
actually
bit
tell
about
you.
it.
That's a
I
different
don't want
podcast.
to know. I don't wanna know.
Sorry. That is when my nerd
I already
comes out.
know. I already know. That's the point.
That's why I don't ask.
Which, after all of that, we also have to consider that Morell's notebooks noted that he gave the Fuhrer barbiturates, morphine, bull semen, and probiotics, which, I mean, surprisingly okay, right? But he probably overdosed him with them.
Well, with the bull semen, I feel like it might be a little.
Like probiotics don't do much when you're getting a whole big dose of bull semen.
Bull semen.
Yeah. When you're guzzing bull semen, what are probiotics, right? They gotta work hard.
Penicillin ain't doing shit at this point. Sorry, should that one be cut out? I don't know.
No.
Okay, good.
But it is laughably for
Insulting.
several.
Okay.
No, for several reasons, laughably true. So every day for 9 years, Dr. Morell administered, generally via injection, this cocktail of amphetamines, barbiturates, and opiates in massive quantities.
Oh, semen.
Like, well,
sorry.
I mean,
ABOSSSS.
and truly, like, how did this motherfucker make it to put a bullet in his brain? Type quantities. Sorry, curse.
I forgot.
And
I always forget.
Morell had the nickname of the Reichsmeister of injections, which really quickly, guys, as far as nicknames in the Nazi party go, it's not that bad, all things considered, right?
What was his nickname again? I'm sorry.
The Reichsmeister of injections. Reichsmeister.
Oh, fuck. I hate being in Kansas sometimes because I have notation of this actual word. I want to
Reichsmeister of injections.
Reichsmeister. Sorry, God.
There, do you get it now?
Yes, thank you.
See, but now say it in German.
I can't.
Reichsmeister.
Oh, did she do it okay? I don't know if she did.
I did it very well.
I was impressed, so I don't know.
I rolled that R as if it was Latin, but that's the only mistake. Reichsmeister of injection.
Whenever I read it, because being a hillbilly from Texas, I read it Reichsspritzenmeister.
But there's not an extra.
I'm sorry, James. I just blew fucking beer up my nose, you fucker.
I did that specifically to cause that reaction.
Hold on.
Oh my God, my eyeballs hurt.
Say it again.
Reichsspritzenmeister.
But there's no P. It's REICHSMASTR. There's not a P. The letter P.
Well, where I am seeing it, there is a P.
Just let it go, Beth.
Sorry.
You
I just love the
sodbuster.
idea of him being known as a Spritzmeister.
Spritzmeister. Let it go, Beth.
Okay, I did. You don't have to tell me twice.
Can we just say, though, in a Reich where people are known as things like the Jew hunter, the Reichsmaster of injections, doesn't seem that bad, right?
No.
If you're in that elite circle, I made the joke this time.
I know you
might
did.
have to be cut. I'm just saying it was a thing.
Okay. I get it. No. So continue on. So it's not a bad thing.
We're almost done. As the war began to march toward its end, Hitler's health, understandably, guys, was shot all of hell. He was an addict in the absolute extreme. So imagine the junkiest junkie for like amphetamines and cocaine that you can imagine, and that was Hitler.
That's why addiction or intervention was invented on AE. Sorry.
Yeah. But I think the bunker was probably too late.
Maybe slightly.
His arms were so punctured with hypodermic marks that even Eva Braun finally said something, and it was like, dude, moral is nuts, Hitler. Okay? Like, he's a quack. But it didn't stop the fear, though. And Morel's devotion to Hitler never wavered for a second. He hero worshipped the fucking psycho. Sorry, curse. Morel remained by Hitler's side in the bunker until almost the last moments. After Hitler ate that bullet, Morel was captured by the American forces almost immediately following the fall of the Reich, and was hardly interrogated for something like, I'm going to say 2 years, but I'm not going to say that I looked it up very strenuously. And by that, I mean I found no primary sources. I'm just going off of memory here, guys. Please forgive me. I believe it was 2 years. So Morel's captors were like just disgusted by his lack of personal hygiene.
He was a stinky guy.
And
it's not like he was fucking gross.
Do not think fast. Like, to the point that that's kind of another testament to the dude's incompetence. Mm-hmm. Morel wasn't charged with war crimes, dying in 1948 of a stroke immediately following his release from prison, which good riddance. The asshole was in love with Hitler. I hope he dies 1,000 fucking deaths in hell. You piece of Nazi shit. He left behind. No, I'll take it back. And I
no, keep going.
I hope you
I just was joking.
Rot in hell. Rot in hell, you piece of Nazi shit. And the love you had for Hitler. Hope you fucking die again. He left behind tons of notebooks outlining his quote-unquote treatment of his beloved Hitler. And that's where we get a lot of this fun that I talked about today, guys. A lot of those primary sources and some other ones that were kindly collected by the CIA. The man charged with Hitler's health did more than anyone living in the end to contribute to his ultimate decline. And quite frankly, that's the end of the story. We don't have a point today. We don't
do drugs.
Point.
I mean, if you do, don't go too far.
Like,
don't get on so many drugs that you think you could take on the entire fucking world and genocide 15 million people.
Right?
Take on
Once
Earth
again,
and take naps, not take on Earth and do drugs.
Once again, Movo, we're back to that freaking, who am I thinking? Who am I thinking? It's a comedian. Bethany, help me.
Oh, I don't know. You put me on the spot.
The worst. Norm Macdonald. We're back to that Norm Macdonald. So there was the First World War. Who did Germany pick as it? Yeah.
Okay.
Who did Germany pick? As its enemy. The world. We're back to that. Every episode recently we've done has led back to 15 minutes of comedy by Norm Macdonald. I'm a little bit ashamed of that, but also a little bit proud of it. It is what it is.
Question mark?
Question mark? So, we hope you guys enjoyed this. It was stupid. It was a really stupid, drunk, fun one. We wanted to have fun. Got the rest of the interview project 110% coming your way. We're in the middle of recording that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do some sort of, not lighthearted, because the show isn't necessarily lighthearted. People die in history, that's the premise. But we'll do another not so strenuous, real history project in between, trying to get the Romanovs off the board. We're almost done with that, and then we have to first finish our war and interviews. There's a lot of things.
Body count.
We got a backwards body count. We got Peter. We got Warren has to be finished, and then we got Quanah Parker. We have Fuck It, is a huge t-shirt. They're a t-shirt contributor that we absolutely love. We're doing a Downwinders episode with them. So Fuck It on Amazon. Please go seek them out. We have to do that.
GIT.
Fuck
It. Good. Yeah.
Exactly. They just randomly did this awesome t-shirt series to our show, and we appreciate them so much. But they have a really awesome Downwinders show, t-shirt that we're going to do with the show, and we're super excited. So we've got Downwinders, Warren, Quanah Parker. We got to finish Peter, right? Because we're going to finish our Romanov series. And oh my God, and we have our interview series with a surprise guest about our whole, what do you call that when they outlawed alcohol? Somebody supplied me with the word. There you go. I'm on too much alcohol too.
Hey.
Plus, we have Prohibition coming down the line. So you guys see why we are hectic weirdos all the time. And we don't give you things.
We appreciate James. We appreciate James.
Oh, we're fixing to plug in. We're fixing to let him plug himself in full. But really quickly, we plug our podcast. So listen to us wherever it is that you do podcasts. So Spotify, Stitcher, and most importantly, Apple Podcasts. Of course, we're on there, and check us out at our website, bodycounthistorypod.com. Go check out us and our other podcasts at bigheadsmedia.com. Again, that is our network. You can find us there, as well as follow the network at Big Heads Media on Twitter. Please go and follow the show at bodycountpod.com or bodycountpod on Twitter and Instagram. Shit, I'm so bad at social media. It's so
bodycountpod on Twitter, even at bodycountpod on Instagram, at Jessica B. Manor on both Instagram and Twitter. Mine's the only complicated one. So I'm at Bethany Skelton, the number 5 on Twitter, and I'm Bethany RN24 on Instagram. So there you go.
Jesus Christ, that was a masterful. So now, James, replug everything you got to plug. Okay.
Okay. I'm James Wiley. Part of Riot House Entertainment. You can find us on Twitter at Riot House ENT. Follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Riot House Entertainment. I'm also a part of Deniable Assets, which I forgot what there it is.
It's okay.
Our Twitter is at deniable_assets.
Nice.
Find us on Podbean, podbean.com/deniableassets. And my personal stuff is, you can find me on Twitter, lone_wolf902. I'm going to be honest. My Twitter's boring as hell. It's literally just random thoughts that I have that pop into my head once.
I'm on it. Nonsense.
Well, I guess I did start talking about my mental health a little bit more because, I'm a big fan of ending the stigma of mental health. So,
Exactly.
there's that.
Amen.
There you
Amen.
go. We are 110% for that on this podcast because we're just banana bonkers.
Fair.
I mean, it is fair. And we don't
Yeah,
really
and
mean banana bonkers, but we do believe in medication, and
Yeah.
we're both on copious
And we talk
amounts
about it.
for our various mental health.
We
And we
talk
talk
about it
about it on
talk
here
about
all
openly.
the time.
Yeah.
But are
Very
you on
openly.
80 of them?
So,
That's the question.
Are we what?
Are you on
no,
80 of
we're
them?
not on 80 of them. And you know what? Bull semen has never come up in the doctor's office.
Oh, I feel like a fourth grader right now. Bull demon.
But you know what? I do have a little bit of a sore throat right now. I'm wondering if my doctor is
Stop.
going to let
You
me
need some bull semen.
snort a bunch of yayo in his office to cure it.
Oh shoot! I hope
The
everybody
word
listened all the way through this
pure
episode.
90% of this, I feel like, is going to be cut out for broadcast, but whatever. Hey guys, we love you. It was weird. It was wonderful. Please
Yes, Jane,
join
thank
us
you.
back for James. It was wonderful
real.
having you on. You were super
Yeah, no,
funny.
this has been great.
You were the historian where I lacked being the historian, which almost never fucking happens at this show. And
You were
usually, you know what? I
patience where
don't
she lacked
appreciate,
patience.
but I appreciated it this time.
That's probably the greatest compliment I could receive. So I appreciate
And from my end, you were the patience that Jessica lacks in patience for me. So thank you.
No one cares about your end. I
Oh,
love you guys so much, and I'm gonna
I'll have to
cut
mute
off
her
this
again.
recording. You suck off, you
Now that I
bull
know how to
semen
do it.
guzzler. Guzzle that bull semen. I love everybody, all our listeners.
We all love
Hope
you. Yeah.
Go and listen to James. Enjoy.
Lana. 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 Lana!